Hey everyone, today I'm going to be updating my top 10 Dracula movies. It's been a while since the first one, so I figured I might as well. As always, spoiler alert. Starting off, number 10 is Bram Stoker's Dracula from 1992. This movie is just the best kind of over the top. It's kind of like Aquaman, but for horror. Like, this is Francis Ford Coppola. It's not his best work, but it's still really damn good. Keanu Reeves, yeah, his accent's not great, but, like, honestly, I don't blame him. He was trying to go for a full English accent, and even Francis Ford Coppola was like, dude, you don't have to go all the way. You just have to sound British enough. He's like, no, I'm going all the way. And it just didn't work, but he tried.
Eat, feast. We'll need your strength in the dark days ahead. Mina?
Doctor,
Yeah?
how did Lucy die?
Huh?
Was she in great pain?
Yeah, she was in great pain. Then we cut off her head and drove a stake through her heart and burned it, and then she found peace.
Doctor! Please.
But, I mean, the rest of the cast is on point. I mean, you have Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, Anthony Hopkins. They're all at the top of their game.
Jack. Yeah.
I know how deeply you loved her. That is why you must trust me and believe.
Believe? How can I believe?
I want you to bring me before nightfall a set of post-mortem knives.
An autopsy? Lucy?
No, not exactly. I just want to cut off her head and take out her heart.
And then you have, like, the minor roles, where you have Cary Elwes and Richard E. Grant and Tom Waits, and they're all solid. And this is also one of the more sympathetic portrayals of Dracula we've seen in a movie. And for all this movie's problems, it works. So, well done. Well, my main problem with this movie is that it's long. It's only a little over 2 hours long, but it feels about 20 minutes longer. That's my one big problem with it, is just the pacing, really. My score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 9 is Count Dracula from 1970. It's interesting seeing Christopher Lee in a non-Hammer Dracula movie. It's like when Sean Connery was in Never Say Never Again. Apparently Christopher Lee really enjoyed playing this version of Dracula because it was more faithful to the novel. I still haven't read it, so I wouldn't know, but that is pretty cool. And apparently he considered this to be his best performance as the Count. I don't know if I agree, since I haven't seen all of his Dracula movies yet, but he is fantastic.
Mustache.
You.
All my life I've studied the black arts. It's strange to finally confront the Prince of Darkness himself. You have learnt much. You can do nothing.
Herbert Lom, on the other hand, wasn't the best choice for Van Helsing. He's not bad, per se, he's just not great. The technical aspects are all solid for the time, and Jess Franco's direction really helps this one stand out. I don't think this is a better movie than a 1931 original, but I do think it has a better climax. My score is 3.5 out of 5. This one is gonna get me some flack. Number 8 is the original Dracula from 1931. This movie's biggest problem is that it was made by a studio that was still coming out of the silent era. And I really wish there was more dialogue between characters. Also, the pacing is slow and the ending is very anticlimactic. If you look at the Universal monsters, and if you look at the first movie, from each major character. Invisible Man, Frankenstein, Creature from the Black Lagoon, and all the others. This is the only first movie that I don't think is great. I think it's good, but, like, it's not great. Todd Browning's directing is solid, but it's clear he was relatively new to this. He definitely improved by the time he made Freaks the following year. Bela Lugosi is phenomenal, and the rest of the cast is all good if not great.
I am Dracula.
Oh, it's really good to see you. I don't know what happened to the driver and my luggage and with all this, I thought I was in the wrong place.
I bid you welcome. Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
The writing is solid. The script is tight. The set design and the music are great. Overall, it's a very well-made movie. It's just, you can tell this was a transitional era and they hadn't quite gotten the hang of this whole sound thing yet. Scores 3.5 out of 5. Number 7 is also the original Dracula from 1931, except this one is the Spanish version. So just for point of comparison, on the worse side of things, this movie is half an hour longer than the English version, and although Carlos Carlos Villarreal, I hope I said that right, he is great as Dracula, but he's no Bela. Aside from those two things, this is the superior version of the film. So what happened, and what I wish would have happened more in just filmmaking in general, is that after the English crew would wrap filming for the day, the Spanish crew would come in and use the same sets to film their version at night, and they would use the dailies from the English crew as references to copy what they liked and improve where they could. The result is a film that's better shot, better edited, and just overall better made than the English version. It has some of the same problems as the English version, like the anticlimactic ending, but as a whole, it's a small step up. The acting is just as good overall, and Lupita Tower as Ava, the equivalent of Mina, is absolutely the standout here. One more reason I prefer this version is that it actually fills in a plot hole from the English version. Both movies go through much of the film's plot, including Lucy's death and her return as the vampiric Bloofer Lady. However, after the Bloofer Lady is mentioned, the English version just completely forgets about her, whereas the Spanish version actually resolves that plot point. In fact, from what I've heard, this version is just generally more faithful to the book. I don't know to what extent, but still, that's something. The score is 3.5 out of 5. Number 6 is Renfield from 2023. I genuinely don't know how it's taken this long for Nick Cage to play Count Dracula. It just seems like a no-brainer. Now, obviously, it would have to be a very specific tone, because Nick Cage is a very different actor than, say, Bela Lugosi or Christopher Lee. But, again, this version of Dracula is just absolutely perfect for Nicolas Cage.
Would you like to introduce yourself to the group?
I'm the Prince of Valacia. Some call me the Dark One. Others, the Lord of Death. However, to most, I am known simply as
Renfield's boss.
I am Dracula.
Okay, obviously we're dealing with a little bit more than just narcissism here.
And Renfield is a delightful comedic action horror flick made by people who clearly did their research when it comes to toxic relationships. Cage and Nicholas Hoult are both great. Awkwafina gives one of her better performances here. The script is tight, the music is good, the action is great, gory fun. I will say the growing romance, it feels a little out of place among everything else that's going on. Bella Francesca Lobo, her plan doesn't fully make sense. Like, I'm gonna team up with this immortal vampire, and somehow that's gonna expand my crime empire. I mean, I can roll with it, because it's not like that big of a stretch. It's just, it doesn't fully make sense. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 5 is Love at First Bite from 1979. This is a more comedic take on Dracula from an era before comedic takes on Dracula were really a thing. And there's a couple jokes that really don't hold up, but they can be chalked up to product of its time. Because like I said, 1979. However, overall, this is just a solid horror comedy that leans a little bit into parody with memorable characters and a great ending. The entire cast is solid, but George Hamilton is the main reason this movie works. He just... As far as comedic versions of Dracula goes, there's him and there's Nicolas Cage. And they are equally fantastic for different reasons. Some of the best comedy ever made is people delivering silly lines completely seriously. Case in point, Airplane. So yeah, this movie is not exactly laugh a minute, but it is just so utterly charming that it works. So Count Dracula is evicted from his castle by communist officials who are going to turn it into a training camp for gymnasts. He leaves with Renfield, played by Artie Johnson, who has the Renfield laugh down pat, and they head for America. And they're going after who Dracula thinks is the reincarnation of his true love, who happens to be a supermodel.
Well, where is he?
He'll be here.
Another fly-by-night character.
Good evening, my beauty. Roses.
Oh, they're beautiful. Aren't they beautiful, Jeffrey?
Flowers. Don't touch the thorns.
Vladimir, I'd like to introduce you to my psychiatrist, Dr. Jeffrey Rosenberg. Jeffrey, Count Dracula.
It's a pleasure to meet you, Dr. Rosenberg.
Likewise, Count.
Please call me Vladimir. And I will call you Shrink. We are in America. Did you have a nice day, my beauty?
Well, Renee ran my ass off all day. I mean, he may be the best photographer in New York City, but he's still a bitch.
Now, darling. They have a right to their life.
Yes, I know, Jeffrey. They love in their way, we love in ours. Who's to say which is right? By the 21st century, homosexuality will probably be the normal lifestyle.
Excellent.
Cigarette? Do not smoke. Thank you very much.
The mirror is broken.
A small accident. Forgive me, doctor.
And like I said, it's not full-on parody, it's mainly just vampire comedy, but there are elements of parody here. Maybe a little satire, I don't know. That's harder to define.
Damn it! And here you are without out your gun. That's pretty ironic, huh?
No, Pam, once again you're confusing the word ironic with "you are an idiot." What's ironic is that every other store we drive by is a gun shop.
Oh, okay. So then what's satire?
Nobody really knows.
It's basically a horror romantic comedy, and it does that very, very well. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 4 is Nosferatu the Vampyre, also from 1979. This movie cements the fact that I'm just really not into silent films, because this is less impressive for 1979 than the original was for 1922, but I would rather rewatch this version. Herzog's Nosferatu is a confident blend of Murnau's original film and the novel itself, complete with a nod to Lugosi's version. It is technically excellent. The cast has no weak links. The pacing is very good.
The knife is old and could be dirty. It could give you blood poisoning. Please, let me do it. It's the oldest remedy in the world.
Oh, forget it. It's hardly worth mentioning. Just a little cut.
You know, it's only for the best.
They follow the good blend of make it the same but different. Herzog finds that nice happy medium, and it really works. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 3 is Dracula's Daughter from 1936. This movie takes a bit to get going, but once it does, I honestly think it's a step up from Dracula. The technical aspects are all better, and the climax actually feels, well, climactic. What I love about this movie is that Maria does genuinely want to get better, but Sandor, her Renfield, keeps manipulating her because he was promised immortality and he wants to be a vampire. Gloria Holden is fantastic in the lead role, and the fact that this is a character study means we get to spend plenty of time with her, and the rest of the acting is all good if not great.
I'm ready now. I suppose you'll want these pulled down, won't you? Yes.
Oh my.
Damn it, Takei!
Finish your wine, it'll warm you. Stand by the fire for a moment. You mustn't catch cold. Why are you looking at me that way? Won't I do? Yes, you'll do very well indeed. Do you like jewels, Lily? This is very old and very beautiful. I will show it to you. I don't think I'll pose tonight. I think I'll go if you don't mind. Please don't come any closer.
This movie also adds a small but interesting wrinkle to Dracula lore. Like in the first movie, we get the classic line, "I never drink wine."
Sherry, Maria?
Thank you. I never drink wine.
At face value, it's just a clue that she's a vampire because vampires only drink blood. Later in the movie, however, we see her drinking tea. This suggests that vampires are perfectly capable of drinking certain beverages. So why do Dracula and his daughter have an aversion to wine? Well, there are 3 possibilities. First, it's because they both just don't like wine. Second, it's because vampirism is satanic and wine is the blood of Christ or whatever. Third, and my personal headcanon, it's because alcohol is a blood thinner. My score is 4 out of 5. Number 2 is the newest entry on the list, Abigail from 2024. Radio Silence are on a roll. 4 movies in 6 years and all of them bangers. Every creative group should be so fortunate. Abigail takes inspiration from Dracula's daughter, but it's ultimately its own thing. It seems to take some inspiration from The Usual Suspects, but that's a bit more subtle. Alicia Weir absolutely shines in the titular role, and the rest of the cast are at the top of their game. Melissa Barrera and Catherine Newton are no strangers to horror, and it's wonderful to see them in the same movie. And Kevin Durant is a treat as usual. Like Ready or Not and Scream 5 and 6, this is a confident blend of horror and humor. Neither really gets in the way of the other. There are some stupid decisions, but none of them feel out of character, and the characters are very well defined, so it works.
Put it down! I'd really prefer not to shoot you.
What is he talking about?
Get up.
Frank, just shoot her. She's not gonna kill me. I might be wrong, Frank.
Joey, I'm scared.
Put it down.
Promise, Joey.
I'm doing my best here, Abigail.
Please point that somewhere else.
You're not touching that girl.
Okay?
Put it down.
Sammy, little help would be nice.
Don't pull Sammy in.
We need to know what she
Just
knows.
let me talk to her.
No.
Peter?
I'll talk to her.
Frank, lower your gun.
Put it down, or you can die right now.
Guys,
Don't try me.
Sammy, shut up! What the? How'd she get out of those cuffs?
Huh?
Scores 4.5 out of 5. Finally, my number 1 is Horror of Dracula from 1958. This movie is a classic. It is faithful to the story of Dracula while adding enough new wrinkles to stand on its own. Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee are fantastic.
Come, let me kiss you.
Put this on.
Please, I want to go home.
And so you shall. I'll just go and fetch Mr. Holmwood, and then we can all go home together.
Not Aunt Lucy.
No, not Aunt Lucy. Now, you sit there. Yeah, good girl. There. You look like a teddy bear now. Will you wear this pretty thing? There. Isn't that lovely? Now, you promise not to run away?
I promise.
Good. Now, look. If you watch over there, you'll see the sun come up. Keep warm.
Michael Goff, Melissa Stribling, and John Van Eysten are all great. Set design is excellent, the cinematography and editing are solid, especially for 1958. And the musical score is just phenomenal. Tension is palpable, the scares work, and, well, yeah, what is there to say about this movie that hasn't been said already? It lives up to its reputation. My score is 5 out of 5. Hey everyone, what are your favorites? Which ones do you think should have made it on the list that didn't? Let me know down in the comments. Like and subscribe and all that. And if you don't like the video, tell me why. Try to be constructive, because, you know, constructive criticism is always welcome. And then, you know, subscribe anyway. You'll be notified when I upload a new video. Watch that one and tell me why that sucks. Or, if you think I've improved, tell me where you think I've improved. Or both, who knows. That's all for now. Stay safe in these crazy times.